So I absolutely agree that it's becoming more and more important to companies. In fact, it's getting to the point where companies need to look at sustainability no differently than they look at their financial results. That means that they need to have a strategy for sustainability going forward. They need to be able to baseline their current performance. They need to set targets about where they want to be. They need to come up with different measurable actions and mitigations to improve that performance, and then they need to report out on that across all of their enterprises to their stakeholders, and even more importantly, to all of the regulatory bodies that are requiring this information. That is where sustainability is going, and that is why they need an integrated solution to meet those needs. The biggest challenge to meet these needs is actually the collection and aggregation of data. In order to meet the strategy at the enterprise level, yes, you need to collect that data at the corporate level so you can report out to your stakeholders and, even more importantly, to all of the regulatory disclosure requirements. But you really need to understand your data at the operational level, at the product level, and now at your supply chain, in your supply chain also, because up to 80% of your greenhouse gases can come from the supply chain. I would say today you already have regulations that are requiring you to start collecting Scope 3 data. CSRD in Europe, SB 253 in California. So if you fall into those areas, you already need to be thinking about Scope 3 data. I think the trap companies can fall into is thinking that they are outside of the regulatory requirements, that they are either not operating in those areas or they're too small, they fall outside the areas. So there are two things. One is, if one of your key buyers is in that area and you are a supplier to them, they are going to start asking you questions. They're going to ask you for the data they need to report out, but they're also going to ask you about your supply chain. They're going to ask that information because no company wants to be the poster boy for a violation of deforestation, child labor, conflict mineral. They want that information from you. So I would say that the Scope 3 emissions are not largely out of their control. Today's buyers are going to their suppliers and they're asking them to focus on price, quality, service, timeliness. And what the leading companies are already doing is they are incorporating sustainability into that criteria. So as a supplier, they are no longer just competing on price and quality, etc. They need to compete on sustainability. So the best way a company can do is to incorporate that requirement into their needs. And that's what the leading companies are already doing. When you see a company say that their product is net zero, they're not doing that by themselves. They are already working with their suppliers to achieve those goals. And so what you're going to see is sustainability will become a requirement just like price, just like quality. And suppliers will need to compete on that level, and they will make decisions where it may be more advantageous for them to be a leader in sustainability so they can maintain a slightly higher price point. That is the way the leading companies are already working, and that is the way every company needs to work to improve their sustainability going forward.